what I love the most about it that I didn't know in college, and I didn't know when I took that industry job, and I didn't really even know when I took the job at Wallace Plese Dreher, but my favorite thing about it is I'm just constantly amazed at learning the ways people find to run a business and to make a living and earn money. It's fascinating. This is just driving through, a bunch of old warehouses and seeing they make this little part that goes on this thing, that Honeywell buys. It is things that you don't think about at all going about your day. And it's just the people that you meet, and in Phoenix particular, the entrepreneurial spirit of people to just start something in their garage, and then you're meeting them 20 years down the road, and it's a $25 million company, and they have, they're wanting to get their family involved, and their story is always fascinating. And it's my favorite part about going out and meeting business owners is just listening to their story of how they started and what they're doing now. And it's usually pretty impressive, and I just love that. Impact on our business from COVID, the first and foremost was as this thing started getting real national attention and coming home, not just being an international issue, was, do we have a safety concern for our folks? That's going to be first and foremost, and that's been first and foremost through this entire deal. So, how do we do that? We pull out some people from our kind of executive committee, and we start having discussions on, what will happen if this does get more intense in our area of the country, and what's going to be the impact. What are other people doing? Some of the multinational type corporations had already started sending people home, so you start hearing about that. News kind of starts tumbleweeding from there. And we had a pretty serious on March 13th of, okay, it looks like we might have to do this. And then Monday was kind of the go, no go, and we decided to basically send everybody home. So afternoon of March 16th, employees are alerted. We're going to be working remotely for the foreseeable future. We know as much as anybody else does. So what hardware type needs do you have, and who can work at home, and let us know who won't be able to, but primarily we're going to want to have people working from home for the foreseeable future. And thankfully we had sort of made some investment on the technology side for working remotely and working from home. We've got folks kind of working out at clients' office because of what we do, and so dialing in type capability was certainly already there. Not being able to interact with our clients on a one-on-one basis, which is what we love to do. That's what we like to do. That's what we speak to. We serve privately held businesses, Arizona-based. We do that for a reason. We want to be in front of people all the time, whether it's lunch, whether it's bouncing an idea off of us, whether it's tax planning, family planning, estate planning, whatever it is, we want to be able to be there, and that's best at their office, at their chosen lunch place, whatever it is. So, we figured out after a couple weeks, everybody working remotely, that we were going to physically be able to get jobs from A to B. We were going to be able to get to the finish line with everybody's tax returns and financial statements. It was going to look different. It was going to feel different. There was going to be a lot of adjusting, but we figured out we were going to be able to physically complete that work. But what was lost was that client touch, and when you can't go out and be with them, because everybody was adjusting at the same time. Everybody had different rules and things. So what it really came down to was that thing in your pocket that does all the apps and everything, and also makes phone calls. And what we did is a lot of phone calls. And so that was probably, if you were going to say what maybe came good that maybe you take away and keep doing, it's picking up the phone. Leadership-wise, how we were able to overcome and work through the pandemic and the initial stages is, letting people do what kind of works best for them. Sort of that old adage, put good people around you and stay out of the way. There was definitely an element to that. And when I said communication before with clients, it was equally as important with the staff, because without them, you can't make the wheel, you can't make it go. So it's listening. It's not everybody was going to be in the same bucket. We can't just, let's set a policy in a room with 3 people and just throw it out there and say too bad if it doesn't work. Everyone's going to have a different situation. School's shutting down. Do you have kids? What are the age of your kids? What do you need? You live in a studio apartment. Maybe you don't have the greatest home office setup, or what distractions do you have? So it was a lot of, tell us what you need. Do you need hardware? Is it a monitor to take home? Is it a chair to take home? Because the chair that you're sitting at your kitchen table, when you're working an hour at night or something, maybe that's fine. But now that you're doing, think about the time of year, folks are working 9, 10, 12 hours a day, and they're sitting in a kitchen chair. Can we get you a chair? So it was really just kind of individual plans for people and being open to what they needed to help our clients. For us, business has been really pretty good. Certain clients were devastated. For some it was a light switch. Revenue went to zero. So there's been some consulting and some how can we help. There's certainly been financially we have to be patient and having those discussions as a partner and a manager group of, this is not a normal year. This isn't, you can't look at everyone the same. And some people are going through a really, really hard time with these businesses that they've built. And, compassion is going to probably lead the way on this. And they've been good to us, and it's time for us to be good to them. Those few that we're working with, it's been actually a pretty good year financially.